Ranvir was getting excited to see Mahi's deep neck dress. Mahi was speaking in her own voice, while Ranvir was looking at her. Mahi's hotness was increasing Ranvir's restlessness. She drank water quickly and tried to relax herself. And she said, "This girl will someday kill me. Do you know that I am still far from her? Still, she is testing my patience." When Ranvir did not say anything for a long time, Mahi said to him, "I have been talking to you for a long time. You are not saying anything." Ranvir felt that he should not do video calling. He said to Mahi, "It's too late. You go to sleep now. I will talk to you tomorrow." Saying this, he disconnected the phone. Mahi thought that Ranvir must be tired due to work. And she must be sleepy. That's why she disconnected the phone. But after seeing Mahi, Ranvir's condition was getting worse. He smoked a cigarette and started to cough. He extinguished the cigarette in the ashtray, took off the bathrobe, came to the bed and lay down. After a long time, he finally fell asleep. The next day, Ranvir woke up with the phone of Rudra. Ranvir received the call from the headrest. On the other hand, hearing Rudra's words, Ranvir's eyes became a little dangerous. After talking for a while, he disconnected the phone. Then he dialed someone's number. And on the other hand, the phone was received in a ring. Ranvir said in his heavy and cold voice, "Arrange today's meeting with Jaiswal." After giving some more instructions, Ranvir disconnected the phone. In a private room of a 7-star hotel in Mumbai, some people were sitting and waiting for someone. Then Ranvir opened the door of the room and entered in an arrogant manner as usual. His face was expressionless at that time, but his eyes were very cold, which forced anyone to tremble with fear. As soon as he entered Ranvir's room, the atmosphere there also became very cold. Ranvir came and sat on a sofa with one foot on top of the other, like a king. He extended his hand towards his assistant. His assistant Avinash understood his gesture and he extended a file towards him. Ranvir threw that file on the table of a person sitting in front of him. And a cold man put it on him and said, "Would you like to say something about this?" The person sitting in front was Jaiswal, who was a partner of Kapoor's Mumbai branch. There had been a lot of scams in the Mumbai branch and a lot of secrets of Kapoor Industries were being sold to his rival companies. When Jaiswal looked at Ranvir, he picked up the file with trembling hands. When he opened the file and saw it, he began to tremble. He said, "Have you misunderstood? This is all a lie." Ranvir said with a devilish smile, "Even your tongue doesn't believe you, Jaiswal. That's why it's not supporting you." Then he said, "Then how can you think that I should believe you?" Hearing Ranvir's words, Jaiswal understood that his bet is broken. He understood that now Ranvir was not going to leave him at any cost. Jaiswal was selling all the secrets of Kapoor Industries to his rival company for which he was getting a very good price. His company was in partnership with Kapoor's. That's why he was also losing with Kapoor's. That's why he thought that maybe no one would have any doubt about this. And other companies were giving him so much amount that by investing it, he had also opened his other company. Ranvir's eyes could not save him from this scam. When Ranvir came to Mumbai last time, that's when he noticed this. And he had put his men to keep an eye on Jaiswal. Jaiswal sat on his knees in front of Ranvir and said, "Forgive me, Mr. Kapoor, I was greedy." At this time, Ranvir's facial expressions were very dangerous. He said while staring at Jaiswal angrily, "Ranvir Roy Kapoor has only one thing for betrayal and that is death." Saying this, he pointed to his assistant. Avinash understood Ranvir's gesture and he called someone on his phone. Within a few seconds, about 5 solid bodyguards came to the room and picked up Jaiswal and took him out. The face of the rest of the people present there started sweating with fear. Ranvir got up from the sofa and said, "I hope that from now on, no one will think about cheating Ranvir Roy Kapoor." Saying this, he gave everyone a cold look and left the room. There, the bodyguards took Jaiswal to the basement of a villa and hung him upside down there. A man was hitting him and Jaiswal was screaming in pain. In front of him, Ranvir was sitting on a chair. His face was very calm. Jaiswal said crying, Ranvir is better than this. Ranvir got up from his place and came to him. Then he picked up a handful of salt from the ball kept next to him and rubbed it on his wounds. Jaiswal, you have been working with us, so how did you forget how much you hate those who cheat me? Still, you dared to cheat me. By rubbing salt on Ranvir's wounds like this, Jaiswal screamed in pain. Then Ranvir looked at the man who was beating him and said, keep beating him until he dies. And yes, don't forget to rub salt on his wounds in between. Saying this, Ranvir looked at Jaiswal with a dangerous smile and left from there. The next day, Mahi was sleeping in her room. In her sleep, she felt someone's hands moving on her body. Mahi looked at her with her eyes suddenly, her eyes widened. Ranvir was looking at her with his head on his hand. His other hand was stroking Mahi's waist. Mahi sat shocked and pinched Ranvir and said, are you really here? Ranvir said to himself, ouch. Mahi, who welcomes her husband like this? Mahi quickly sat on Ranvir and hugged him like a child. I was wondering if I was dreaming. Ranvir pinched his cheeks and said, you should have pinched yourself for him. Mahi sat and said, first tell me, when did you come? Ranvir turned Mahi and bowed down and came to him. Then he said, I came back at night. Mahi asked, then why didn't you wake me up? Ranvir smiled and said, I tried to wake you up, but you were sleeping in a deep sleep. Saying this, Ranvir pointed at his clothes. When Mahi followed his eyes, she saw that he was wearing Ranvir's shirt. Seeing this, Mahi's mouth was wide open. She opened her eyes and looked at Ranvir and said, I was wearing a night suit. Then when did this happen? Ranvir looked at him with a smile. Seeing his smile, Mahi understood that Ranvir has taken advantage of his deep sleep. Mahi hit Ranvir's chest and said, Ranvir, how can you do this? Ranvir laughed and said, I didn't do anything. I just loved you a little. But now I will complete my incomplete work. Saying this, Ranvir was about to kiss Mahi's lips when Mahi pushed him. Ranvir was not ready for this push, so he fell next to Mahi. Before Mahi could get up from the bed and run, Ranvir grabbed her hand and pulled her towards him. So Mahi fell on Ranvir's chest. Ranvir grabbed her waist and said, do you think you can escape from me? Mahi swore to get rid of him. Let me go. I will be late for college. Ranvir said, okay, but be ready at night, and for now I want a welcome kiss from you. Mahi said, that too at night. Let me go. Ranvir pulled his waist and said, forget it. I won't let you go. Mahi knew that she won't be able to win Ranvir. Ranvir is stubborn. He said to Ranvir, close your eyes first. I feel shy. Ranvir stared at him. Mahi said, do it. No, I won't kiss you. Ranvir took a deep breath and closed his eyes. Mahi put her soft lips on Ranvir's lips. As soon as she kissed him and started moving, Ranvir put his hand behind his head and started kissing him. While kissing, Ranvir turned Mahi down. Now he was kissing her in a very passionate way. Then his phone started ringing. Ranvir was not in a mood, but after ringing for a long time, Mahi said to Ranvir, see, it's not for any important work. Ranvir got irritated by the constant ringing of the phone. He looked at Mahi and then got up. Ranvir didn't want to go away from Mahi. But this phone ruined his mood. He looked at the screen of his phone and saw his assistant Avinash's call. He was very angry. So he said, if there is no important work, then Avinash, you are gone from your life today. Thinking this, he threw the phone. After hearing Avinash, Ranvir went to the balcony. Mahi quickly went to the washroom. About half an hour later, Mahi came out. Ranvir was sitting on the sofa and was watching something on his phone. After seeing Mahi, Ranvir came to him and kissed his cheeks and said, you get ready, I will drop you to college on the way to office. Saying this, Ranvir went to the washroom. Mahi got ready and went down. Ranvir got ready, and as soon as he came out of his room, he found Samira outside, who was coming towards him. Seeing Samira, Ranvir's mood got worse. He ignored her and went ahead. Then Samira called out to him, "Ranvir, please listen to me once." After hearing Samira's voice, Ranvir stopped there. But she turned her back to him. Samira came to Ranvir and said, "Ranvir, I wanted to apologize to you. I am telling the truth. I am feeling very ashamed of what I have done. Actually, all these years, I have always loved you. So, for me, accepting that you belong to someone else was not that easy." Then Samira stood in front of Ranvir and said with tears in her eyes, "But now I have understood that I cannot lose my friendship because of some stupidity. I just want to be your friend now." Ranvir looked at her with his eyes closed. Then he took a deep breath and said, "Okay, but from now on, don't cross your limits." Saying this, he went ahead. Samira, who was still looking pitiful, got a devil's smile on her face. She wiped her tears with her finger and said to herself, "This is the first step. Samira is not one of the losers so soon. You rejected me for that, Mahi. You insulted me and my mother. Now you yourself will throw this Mahi out of your life, Ranvir." Saying this, she started laughing like a psycho. What is going on in Samira's mind? Will she be able to succeed in her conspiracy? Will Mahi and Ranvir separate? To know more, keep listening to Oh Baby, only on Love Pulse Diaries.